Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about all the latest Manchester United transfer news today. So we're going to be talking about Jadon Sancho and Ole's three priority signings, three players that Ole looks to bring to Manchester United this summer, as well as news on Thiago Almada. He's a young Argentinian winger doing well in the Argentinian leagues, and we're also going to be talking about the Rennes 17-year-old midfielder Eduardo Camavinga. He's been linked a lot to Real Madrid, but there's more links linking him to Manchester United, and he is very highly regarded in the world of football, Eduardo Camavinga. He's one of the more exciting up-and-coming wonder kids. So I'm going to talk about all of that and more in today's video. So make sure you smash that like button and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new, so you don't miss daily Manchester United related content from me. I do transfer videos every other days and then general trivia videos in between, like post-match reactions, statistical videos and more, so subscribe for that. So first things first, I want to talk about the Jadon Sancho story. Jadon Sancho to Manchester United has been in and out of the news for the last 4 months. Jadon Sancho this, Jadon Sancho that, he's coming, he's not coming. It's so boring and repetitive, so I want to keep it short, sweet and simple and get to the point. So over the last months, we've heard Jadon Sancho to Manchester United are favourites to sign Jadon Sancho, deal done. And then recently we hear Sanchez for Sancho swap deal, Real Madrid are coming in for Jadon Sancho, Dortmund reject bid from Manchester United for Jadon Sancho, Manchester United are looking elsewhere, Chelsea want Jadon Sancho. There's so many stories. And what we know about Jadon Sancho, which has been confirmed by Tier 1 journalist Fabrizio Romano, and other Tier 1 journalists have also linked us to Jadon Sancho, is that Manchester United are all in for Jadon Sancho. He's our #1 target. Fabrizio Romano came out and said, I think it was an interview in the United Stand, that Manchester United are in love with the idea of Jadon Sancho, that he's our first choice target. We'll go all out for him. We're confident we will land him. You know, Tier 1 journalists have linked us to Jadon Sancho, have confirmed that we want Jadon Sancho, we'll go all out for him and he's a priority signing. So for me, I generally believe that Jadon Sancho to Manchester United all depends on money and Champions League football. But obviously it's believed that Manchester United are pretty confident they will land him. So the Manchester Evening News, they talk about a story from the Evening Standard, where they basically say we are focusing on Sancho over a striker following Odion Ighalo's loan extension deal, which to be honest sounds about right, because now we've got Ighalo in for another 6 months, strikers are less of a priority. I'd still like another striker in, but we've needed a right wing in the last year a lot more than we've needed a striker, because we don't actually have an out and out right wing. And I think, Ighalo will do the job for the next 6 months, but I think I think some people might see this as a positive, because Greenwood's coming through, Martial's coming through, and a right wing is a lot more important as a striker to me. I think our priority position should be right wing and CDM, but I believe the story is true. I think now we've got Ighalo in, it'll be Jadon Sancho, a few other players, and then possibly a second striker if we can get them for a good price. But I can generally see us not getting a striker till January. I feel like we're not going to sign a striker this summer, although we've been linked to lots. And the Manchester Evening News continue to talk about, despite the current pandemic going on, that they believe Manchester United and Solskjaer will press ahead with their original transfer plans, basically confirming that they believe we're still going to spend lots of money even though the pandemic. We know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came out in an interview and said that Manchester United have not been that badly financially affected, that our plans in the market were still the same, that we still have the same targets, we still believe we'll get them, and that Ole said we're actually looking to take advantage of the market, because obviously some clubs need to sell. And obviously, if we believe what Ole's saying and what we've heard, that Manchester United will still press ahead with their plans during the pandemic, which seems about right. The Manchester Evening News also continue off by saying that Solskjaer would ideally like to add a playmaker, a central midfielder and a winger, which again, I believe is also true. They've said this before. They're basically saying that we want a central midfielder, a playmaker and a winger. Who is that? Jadon Sancho, Jack Grealish and Jude Bellingham. So the Manchester Evening News is basically saying that they believe, and they're generally always on the right lines, that Manchester United will press ahead with their original transfer plans and try and get the likes of Jack Grealish, Jadon Sancho and Jude Bellingham to Manchester United this summer. And they believe now Ighalo's staying for another 6 months, that a striker is not necessary, or it's not a priority. And I do believe that. I believe, although we've been linked to lots of centre-backs and strikers, I can only see us getting maybe a low-risk striker that would be under £20 million, same with centre-back, because I believe that midfield and wing is our priority. We also know that Tier 1 journalists have confirmed we're interested in Jack Grealish, Jude Bellingham and Jadon Sancho, whereas we've been linked to so many players, but we know that Tier 1 journalists have actually confirmed an interest in that, and that we actually want those 3 players. They also say how the Evening Standard mentioned that Manchester United will prioritise their funds for Jadon Sancho, which seems about right. It kind of links with what Fabrizio Romano said, that Jadon Sancho is our #1 priority. We'll go all out for him. I think we'll try and get Jadon Sancho before anyone. Our funds will be focused on Jadon Sancho, then followed by the likes of Grealish and Bellingham. Linking with Jadon Sancho, we're also linked as someone that could be a possible Jadon Sancho alternative in Thiago Almada. He's an Argentinian winger, plays in the Argentinian league. He's got 5 goals and 2 assists this season in 1,400 minutes, so he's averaging a goal contribution every 200 minutes, and at 19 years of age, it's okay. He does seem like a pretty good young player. He's got some dribbling ability, he's got some flair about him. And you know, he's in the Argentinian league, so he wouldn't be expensive. And I always think that Manchester United, we used to do it a lot, but we haven't done it recently, should look more into the Argentinian and the Brazilian leagues and bringing in like youngsters with good potential through, because I think it's low risk because they're not that expensive, and you know, there are some good players that come from the Brazilian and Argentinian leagues. So this Thiago Almada player, I like the look of him. I don't think he'd be ridiculously expensive. I think he'd be a good option to bring in. A bit of a low risk signing with a great potential. However, there's a massive gulf in quality between him and Sancho. And I think if we sign Sancho, he goes straight in the squad and strengthens us straight away. Whilst this guy, is he going to push ahead of Dan James? Is he better than Dan James? I think like he will improve us long term, but like, is he going to have that impact initially? And I think if we want to go to the next level, we need like one signing that's going to have an initial impact. And I feel like I wouldn't put him as a Sancho alternative myself, but I have him and Sancho just to come in, add a bit of depth and interest to the squad. But I do think there's a gulf in class between him and Sancho. But basically, the Manchester Evening News reported that basically Manchester United are tracking Thiago Almada in case their plans for Jadon Sancho fall through. They've identified the winger as a possible alternative for Jadon Sancho, and they have lots of alternatives on their shortlist, basically in case the transfer falls through, which I think is a good thing, because although we're confident we're going to get Sancho, we might not get him, so at least we have lots of players on our shortlist. It doesn't put us in a situation where last minute we buy a right winger that's not the right winger, and we've overpaid for them. At least we have lots of players, so we have an idea of what's right, and Jadon Sancho's first, and then we have lots of other wingers like Ferran Torres, Rabi Tamanda that we've monitored, that we know if Sancho falls through, we have the option. Does it mean Sancho will fall through? No, it just means that Manchester United are doing the right thing and being safe and looking at an alternative in case Sancho does fall through, because obviously there's a chance we might not get Champions League football, and I think if we don't, it's going to be a lot harder to get Sancho. So now we're having players as a safety net, which I think is a really sensible thing to do. But I still think we will get Sancho, but you just don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 months. Now the last story I'm going to talk about comes from the United Report, where they talk about a report from Mundo Deportivo, this Spanish outlet via Sport Witness. Basically, they reported that Manchester United have sent in multiple proposals to Rennes about the teenager Eduardo Camavinga, which doesn't surprise me. He's one of the greatest up-and-coming prospects in football. He's 17, he's playing regularly in Ligue 1, and he's playing regularly, but he's also playing well regularly. He's not playing in bad performances. However, they do mention a move to Real Madrid is more likely. However, Real Madrid may not be able to afford him, which opens the door for Manchester United. They also talk about Camavinga being more open to a move to Real Madrid, and he wants to play for Real Madrid, not Manchester United. So if he doesn't want to come to us, will Ole sign him? Because Ole's quite big on, I want players that want to come to us. However, with Real Madrid maybe in financial difficulties because they spent a lot in the summer, we maybe have an advantage. Now, I'm sure we'd like Camavinga, like, why would we not want him? But I think, like, I can't see us getting Camavinga and Bellingham. I think if Bellingham went through, we'd really try and pursue Camavinga. I do think his heart's set on Real Madrid, which I think is a little bit of a problem. But I think there's a chance, you know, I'm sure we're 100% monitoring him, interested in him. And I mean, if we could get him, I think there'd be a chance we would. But I see him going to Real Madrid. But unless Bellingham falls through, I can't really see us going all out for him, although I'd like Camavinga. He's a great young player. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below about Camavinga, Thiago Almada, Jadon Sancho, Jude Bellingham, Jack Grealish. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Manchester United will sign any of them? Let me know in the comment section down below. What's your general thoughts on the news? And if you have not already, it'd be awesome if you could smash that like button and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new, so it means a lot. Share this video, comment your thoughts. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.